All right, I'm going to go ahead and just record, just because sometimes it's nice to have the recordings, but it won't go anywhere except for us. Like, we'll give it to Vivian because she can't be here, but it won't go anywhere outside of this. So this is our beginning of the Lady Lizard 90 days. 90 days of the Lady Lizards. Yes, yes, and I'm very excited to see, hold on, how we go. She goes, I need the meeting ID. Okay. Oops, except for it's better if I can type. There we go. All right, so she should be in. Oh, no, sorry. I did it wrong. 81628484. I can't get the 8 to go on my button. There we go. 7579. 81747579. There we go.
There she is.
Here.
Hey, Leila.
Hey, Leila's there. Yay, good morning. All right. So let's give Carolyn just a minute to get in and just look at each other like it's been a week or a lifetime. And
I want to know how Susan got her lighting perfect.
How I got what?
Your lighting so perfect.
Oh, I don't know. Well, there's.
Oh,
I think it's coming through the my sliding glass door back here, and it's all bright. Yeah, that's all. And then it's that painting. It's my painting. My friend painted for me. It's like full of light. I can't stop it. It's so great.
God, you can't help it.
And the trick to perfect lighting, Nancy, is to put a lamp in front of your face.
Oh, there you go.
And not be with your back to a window, but your front to a window works well, unless the light is streaming right in.
Okay, I can still put my blind better.
Okay.
Sort of.
Here comes Carolyn. Awesome. All right. Carolyn, it looks like you're in. Can you hear us? Oh, look, you're even on video. I see you.
Is she in?
Yes, Carolyn?
You might not be able to hear us yet.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Awesome.
There she is.
Can you see us?
I can.
Ah, so it all worked. Yay.
The video, can y'all see me?
Yep. Yes.
Gotcha.
I was eating a little bit of a banana so I could have a little food while we ate.
Okay. Awesome.
Good morning to everyone.
Good
morning,
Carolyn. Morning.
Morning.
Hi. Your hair looks darling, Nancy. Did you get it
It does.
last week?
It does.
Thank you. No, it just fluffed today. Of course, I never do my hair before a workout, but I was so grody that to do a Zoom, it's like, I got to do something to my hair.
Well, all I've got
In an hour, it's going to be
is a shower.
yeah.
All right,
Got the
ladies,
shower
let's.
done. That was about as far as I got.
All right, let's call our circle. Everybody, bring Vivian, who's in the air or somewhere. She's somewhere today, en route somewhere today. So we just include her here. I'm so pleased that everybody said yes and that we're all here together. So let's just take a moment and really just find that sacred space that we spent the weekend in last weekend. And just take a moment to allow your energy, your awareness to remember, to recall how it felt to be in Sedona, particularly Sunday morning as we were wrapping up that expanded, peace-filled space. And in this moment now, we set a new container. We call the container for this group the Lady Lizards for the next 90 days, starting today all the way through. So the container is set, continuing to hold you. So anytime you think or feel into the container, you feel the power of the support, the invisible support, the support of each other, the support of me in this 90-day container. So it's now called and set. So once more, drop that deep into that place, that most expanded, spacious place that you can recall for the moment. So just land in that, allow that to move in and through your being, allow it to move in and through our container, our circle. And it's here that we do our work, whatever our work is. It's here that we come to connect and to be together. It's here that we hold each other, that we see each other in this place, even if we can't find it for ourselves in a moment or a day. And so with a hand on your heart, we claim we are the Lady Lizards. So it is. And so here we are. For the breath. So what I thought we would do really in these calls, but especially today, is take a couple of minutes. I want to be really timely. I know Nancy's got to be off a little bit before an hour, and I want to be really timely in keeping us at an hour or a little bit less. That's not to say that anybody who wants to stay on you all can stay on for another hour if you want to just stay connected or whatever. That's fine. But what I wanted to just kind of start with is just to check in and give everybody a chance just to do their own check-in, and then we can go into more conversation or exploration of something. But just maybe take a minute or two to just like land into your being. What is it that you would want to share from the depths of our being into our experience? Something about the retreat or what's happened since the retreat or where you are today. So, Susan, you want to just start?
Sure. Well, I feel completely different in a very great way. When I've been driving, I haven't had there wasn't even hardly a thought of panic. It's like I've had weird things happen, and I've got that little normal thing that you always get, like, oh, what is going on over there? Like when people driving crazy, no panic. And my friend Annette spent probably 4 days with me this last week. And the last time we were together, because we usually go in my car because she drives this big farm truck, and so she's not going to drive it all over. And I was kind of in that weird panicky place, and she was like, "You're a lot calmer now." I mean, she noticed it. She goes, "I was wondering how are you feeling?" And it was very different. It was just like normal, like I used to be, which I am now. Like I am now, and so that, and I just feel good. I don't want to say I feel more in control because that seems kind of negative, but I feel more in myself. Like I feel more like myself. So I wouldn't call it in control, but I don't feel so out of control. Does that make sense?
Maybe more present.
Yes, I feel much more present. And I just feel, I still feel that same way. It's not like I came back and as soon as I got back, I kind of went back to that normal thing. And I got to tell you, when the first time that I did feel that coming in, I thought exactly what you said, Liza. I said, that is old stuff. Get out. I was like, go. And it stayed out. I said, no, that's old. I'm done with you. and it stayed out. And I feel like I made the shift to the new way to be.
Awesome. Awesome. Who's next? Thanks, Susan.
I have been very productive since I've been home. I've been doing well. People even, I saw a friend on Saturday evening and she said, oh, that's why you couldn't come to Maj because you were in Sedona. And they saw my pictures on Facebook and I told them how relaxing it was to lay on Bell Rock. I have been, like I said, productive. I've been moving some of my solar panel problem along. It's not completely solved, but I'm working on that. I've spent time with my family, and that has been great. I was pretty amazed that when we were there that my father and my ex-husband came in, and it led me to believe that maybe they were supporting me and a new relationship was what I thought. But I found that this man that I kind of like at Trader Joe's, he's older and just working there for something to do. He mentioned about, he asked me if I was having Easter, and I said no, and he said, oh, we aren't either. And so I knew he was attached. And that makes me feel very sad because we seem to have a real connection. And I think that's why I woke up this morning pretty depressed. But Eliza helped me get on the call. I got up, fed my dogs, took a shower, and I'm present and feeling better now.
And Carolyn, can you just move your phone a little bit so we can see more than the very top?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are. Yay. Yeah. Very glad you're here. And congratulations on all those pieces. Right?
I hope all of you see that about depression, that some people who get depressed, to me, there's no payoff for it. I just want to move through. I want to keep walking and get through this so I can continue with my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
and here you are today, so that's a good step.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
All right, Nancy.
Good. Well, I have to say that because Susan and I stayed Sunday afternoon and didn't head out until Monday morning. I got my first experience of something to rattle. It was a self-imposed rattle, and thank you, Susan, for living through it. I could not find my flight confirmation, and for the life of me, I started to have, because I had pre-booked a number of things ahead, and I went to that place that says, oh, you would be kidding me. You didn't take care of the one thing, because I was flying back on a different flight, and I knew when I was flying and the flight sold out. I'm online to Southwest, can't get through. I'm feeling the panic attack coming up, and the messaging. How could you have made this mistake? How could you do this? And it was starting to take seed, and Susan luckily walked out to check out the pool, and I called Steve finally and said, do you have a copy of my itinerary? And he says, well, yes, I do. And he says, you have it too. You just can't find it right now. And it's gone. I don't know if I did, whatever the story was. And by the time I talked to him, I had reached this point that says, big deal. If I stay over Sunday night or Monday night, I'll fly out Tuesday morning. It's no big deal. And it's the same thing he said to me, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? So stepping back from going full throttle down the drain of how could you make this mistake? And one of my words that came up over the weekend was disappointing myself for being a disappointment. And I found myself saying, well, this is really disappointing. And that wasn't a detached phrase for me because it had a trigger. So, all went well. We left town. We got a lovely breakfast, even though we took a little longer, and we flew in for me, but just by the seat of our pants to get exactly where we needed to be. But afterwards, I was talking to my daughter. I was telling her about the 90-day container, and she goes, Mom, do you mean I'm not going to be able to talk to you for 90 days? And for half a second, I wanted to say, pretty much. My life is going to change dramatically. And I said, well, here's the good news. Mine already has. And that's a conversation for another day. And she goes, okay. So it's really about, I don't know. When things have wanted to come up, I find myself doing the two things that came out of it. I go back to laying on that rock. I'm serious. I can feel the heat of that rock and the heat of the day. I feel the future self reminding me that she didn't pick up the burdens or new ones. And I think the last one is that my word was, I can't push myself, nor do I want to be pushed into anything. And, we've been through some vehicle shopping and whatever, and that's just what I said to everybody. Gotta let this unfold. I'm not being pushed. Half the time I said it to myself, I'm not being pushed into anything. And nobody was really trying to push me. It would have been inward. So all of those phrases that came out have, or feel like are becoming my new default setting that I was trying to override. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I practice a lot testing them. No.
Well, yeah, with both your daughter in one way and the salespeople in another, right?
So it was, and a husband. It was just, but it all turned out well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Katie, how was your Grand Canyon trip?
Oh, it was very nice, and it's funny because I kind of knew going, like, how I felt about Sedona. I don't usually have this feeling, but I just felt like I need to get back here as soon as I can. Like, not like tomorrow, but maybe the fall, something like that. But I just totally knew I wanted to come back, and usually kind of once I've been somewhere, I like to go somewhere else, that kind of thing. But with Grand Canyon, I was glad to go there, and I'm great at, like, if I go there again, fine. And it was nice to see it and everything, but it was like Sedona was it for me, what I mean? So actually on our way back to Phoenix, Mike and I said, well, if we get to Phoenix, it's so big, we don't know where to go. Why don't we go into Sedona again? So we did. We went into Sedona again for lunch, kind of a late lunch. And then he had gone on this one hike, and he took me on part of it, where I wore my hiking boots and realized I would have been a lot better off with my lightweight hiking boots on our walk and on the walks I did at Grand Canyon. But anyway, Michael, just so you get this, you guys, I just want to share this. He went to the top of Bell Rock with the guy from Airbnb, and he said he checked in with his intuition, which said, you don't have to do this, and if you do, you will be okay, and it's going to be very challenging. And so he's not afraid of heights. He gets up on stuff, all the time that I kind of wish he wouldn't. But he said he thought it was going to be like this challenging, and he said it was. And then it was really funny what the mind does, like 3.5 hours, and he said down was just as difficult as up. He said he got back and had to take this long nap. But afterwards, the mind starts going, you could have been killed. And so So, anyway, he did that, but he had his own transformative experience in Sedona, because I say that was a transformation, but anyway, enough about that. We got back here and we all of a sudden feel like we're living in a jungle after being in the desert, because all the greenery came in within that week. And it's like, anyway, so I have a bunch of thoughts about, like, everything for me has not just gone like, oh, fine, before we, on our way to return the rental car in the Phoenix airport, which we decided to do the night before. So Mike and I will oftentimes get into reactive communication with one another in the car. It's like our space where that tends to happen, and it happened, and I was like, okay, so there's going to be more to do to get to that, vision of the future self and communications and everything like that. And then, and I've had a number of things happen. I tried something new. A lot of times I've been straightening my hair, but I tried something new with my hairdresser, which I have not done, you guys, in like years and years and years. And I like really wish I hadn't done it. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those deals, and I'm like, because I was like, okay, so I will just stay home for 3 months, and I'm like, well, that's not realistic, So it's the whole life lesson in learning to just be with what is and let it be, and maybe not be so concerned about how I look, like, and I'm like, okay, so it isn't all about that. And then what it's done is that and Easter kind of like really brought on for me. I've gained a lot of weight, and there's a lot to that. Some of it thyroid related, and some of it knee related and not moving. And but I'm like, now that's what's there for me to like really take that on, to release that so that I feel good. Because like I only had certain things I could wear, and then with the hair, it's like I just don't feel very good at all. Like, and it's like, okay, but I have a hairstyle that's going to be super easy for the summer, where I don't even have to blow dry it. I can just go, and it's not all done. She's going to cut it and do, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. But it's one of those deals, like I haven't felt that way in a long time, where I just like don't feel like myself, and it was an experiment in doing something new, so I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to try something new, you know what I mean? And I don't know, so maybe there's more around that, but it's kind of new, and so I'm still just trying to sort of go with it. and one of the other things I had mentioned to y'all was that I had done a program at a yoga institute, and that I was very interested in what I was learning there, and wanting to step into that more fully, and also teach yoga. And so I was on a phone conversation with someone who's living here for the moment, and it was just incredible, because she had also studied with this person like a while ago, and so she had offered to work with me on both getting my own physicality back up and going. Because I felt like I did a huge energy. I know, we all know, I did a gigantic energy release around the emotions, and like trapped emotions around the knees. And what's left is the physical ramifications of the past couple of years. And so I'm going to do what I can to help rebuild the cartilage and things like that. I ran into that on the last walk in Sedona, where it was just all physical. It was anyway. But she said that she felt like there's a lot that she could do to help me through some of that, and also get on track with the with the yoga training that I feel I would need to get back up to speed with in order to be confident and so it's about me doing it myself, practicing myself again, which was a huge part of my life before, and so re-entering that. But the minute I got off the call with her, there was an email from the Yoga Institute. And so it was really neat because they're now making these darshans with the Yoga Master available via the internet. And so I'm like, well, this is interesting. So now it's becoming more accessible. And so there were reminders there. And the biggest one that I want to share with you all that has to do with reactivity. They said, practice with the breath. Just really practice getting in tune with your breath so that when you're in that moment, when I'm in the car with Mike, like that's where I'm going to be practicing the breath, is when he and I are in the car together. And they just say, take that breath. Just take that breath when that reactive moment comes in, or whatever it might be. So for whatever reason right now, I'm having my share of opportunities to just try to not go into that reaction. And, anyway, so that's kind of where I am. It was nice to kind of go back to that place that feeling place in Sedona, where, and for me, it was on Bell Rock, where it was just like, so, yeah, just so expansive. And, but lately I've really felt those contractions just coming back in, So, so I'm happy that we are continuing the dialogue and that we're going to get energetic shifts and whatever else comes from this, So thank you all.
Yeah. Thanks, Katie. There's a lot there. And, one of the things that might happen is by the time you said 3 months about the hair, which I think is super cute, by the way, you might go, oh my God, this is like totally, I love it now. Because all of that is being you. It is being different. It's like leaning into all that reaction and not reacting. All that's part of interrupting the old patterns. So Congratulations. You're on a fast track.
I hope so.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. And Leila, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. My ears are still clogged up. So it makes me wonder, what am I not wanting to hear? So I keep looking. All right, what is it that I'm not wanting to hear? But I haven't found any of that, so I really don't know. So the week's actually been a good week for me. And then some challenging at a moment, but I've had a lot of different job offers, which are cool. A lot of them I don't want. So I think, well, let me see if I can find you somebody, because it's not going to be me. I cannot see me as a barista by a long shot. I don't know a dang thing about coffee, so this is not going to be me. Or serving ice cream. I don't eat ice cream either, so it's not me. But I'll see if I can help her find a job. Another is to be an event manager at one of the Elks Lodges. Mm. And I said, well, if it's more than 20 hours a week, I don't want it. I'm not going to do that for 40 hours a week. Not there, So it's been kind of fun. And so far, I haven't been worried about work. I just know that it's coming. But I have to remind myself to still look. Don't just sit here and wait. Mm-hmm. So be proactive on that. I worked with one of my clients last week. Well, I did 2 different ones. I did an event yesterday, and then I did organizing for another customer. And we were supposed to get together today after class, but somebody else in her work environment is sick, so she's covering for her today, which is fine. It gives me time to do this. It's very gloomy here today. It's rainy and cloudy and gloomy. Yeah, don't tell me, Nancy. But that's okay. My niece came to town. She is the daughter of someone that I no longer speak to, because during a time when the family really needed Estom's daughter, she turned her back on the family. And I have no respect for that. I don't hate her. I did for a while, but I don't hate her. I'm not even angry with her anymore. I just have no desire to be around her whatsoever. And I'm okay with that. But Brooke wanted to come, not only just to hang out and be with me, but she wanted to hear things from my side of everything that had happened with the family. And so we had big, long talks about that. Showed her everything where I could show her the proof of my position. And she was quite surprised at how different things were than what her mom was telling her. And she left me a note on my computer. She left me notes all over the house, which is too cute. So she wrote at the bottom, it was more than just the amazing places that I'd shown her. I took her around everywhere, but she says, it was knowing you're doing more than okay and that we have each other. And she put underline more than, and that made me feel good. I had a scare this week, trying to get in touch with my son because Brooke really wanted to see him and talk to him, and I couldn't get in touch with him. And I hadn't heard from him since I'd been in Sedona, or was getting into Sedona. And this was Friday, and no one else had heard from him. So I started talking to all of his friends and everybody. No one had heard from him for a week. So then I started to panic. My son is in Costa Rica, and he's been there for 90 days almost. And I knew he was going to take an ATV ride down into Montezuma. And then, of course, a mom's mind goes many places when she can't find her child. And so I was starting, I wasn't panicking, but I was very concerned, enough to where I did call the hostel where he was staying, and he had checked out like 5 days before. And then I called the police, and they didn't speak very good English there, so I tried. So then from there, I called the embassy, and they were able to call and talk to the police. The hostel asked me to email them, and they would try to check everything out. So I emailed them, and I guess they have a translation way because it made it a lot easier to communicate. So they went and asked other people if they'd seen my son, and they responded back. They had seen him, someone had seen him the day before, and that he was okay. And so I just kept putting out there, get in touch with me, child, get in touch with me. So he had responded that he was fine, but he had very bad reception where he was, phone service. And but I was very impressed that the people with the embassy and the hostel were very concerned as well and trying to help me find him. And so did a lot of phone calls, and well, actually only 3, but he did respond that he was okay. And then the next day he got to a better place. He said he was fine, and the hostel even said he is coming back the next day, had booked a room again, so he was there, he was going to be okay. So I was impressed that the hostel even kept communicating with me as well, and that made me feel good. But at the whole time, like we were talking about, the breathing. So every time I feel myself getting really tense and those thoughts of coming in, like the embassy lady said, well, I'll check the hospitals and the morgue. And instead of going, I just, okay. And, you know, if you can't find him there, good chance things are okay, you know. But I never had the gut feeling that my son was gone. But I just knew that he was missing, and that worried. So I got in touch with him the next morning. I said, don't do that. You keep in contact with somebody. I don't care if it's me or anybody. I don't care. But every single day, you get in touch with somebody. Yes, Mom. And he reacted totally different than he normally would with me. He didn't get all upset that I had called the embassy and the police looking for him. He didn't get upset about all that. He said, I'm fine. Sorry I worried you. I'm okay. Which is a totally different son in my world. So that was good. So I've really actually had a good week. I had a couple of hours, stressing about my son for a bit, but and then guess how much those 3 phone calls to Costa Rica cost me? T-Mobile sent me a little note on my phone. $114 for 3 phone calls. Holy crap! My son's paying for this.
No kidding.
It's like, crap, $114, especially when you don't have a job, is a lot of money. But even then, just $114 to make 3 phone calls to check on him. So I think that was the worst feeling I had after that. But so it's been a good week. Oh, I know one other thing. I went to the store and I did the inventory of all of my displays and decoratives and everything that I had at the store to decide whether she's going to buy them, rent them, or I take them back. And I didn't have a problem with it. It was not I really miss this place, or you little bitch, or, any of that kind of thought going through my head. It's like, all right, let's get this done. Let's figure out what's going where. And then if I had something that I thought she should know what it was, I explained it to her what this was and how she would use it and so forth like that. And after a bit, she stops and looks at me. She says, well, how are you? Are you doing okay? I said, I'm doing great. How about you? And so it felt good to just go in and be very businesslike with it. There wasn't emotions involved in it at all.
Mhm.
Not in any way. So, and that felt good. And I'm very comfortable with where I'm at with that now.
Nice.
So I don't know where I was if I had already gotten hired by one of the artists to do her work, her displays for her before Sedona or after. But anyway, I've got things. I've got work.
Things are moving.
Things are moving.
Awesome. Awesome.
What's this? Why am I doing this?
Speaking, hearing. Oops, we just lost Carolyn.
Uh-oh.
Speaking, hearing. Yeah. I don't know why you're doing that.
Stop it.
All right. Anything else in terms of checking in or being in the space? What do you want to say to each other? And just kind of watching the clock here too. I have muted everybody just for the background noise, so go ahead and unmute yourself. I'll unmute you, Katie. There you go. You're unmuted, Katie.
Oh, okay. I just had a quick question. I may have missed it at the retreat. When are you going to send our letters from our future selves?
I actually didn't tell you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, man, I wish I had a picture of it.
I didn't tell you because I want it to come when it comes as a complete surprise.
Okay.
So that you're not, so like it'll be far enough out that most of you won't be thinking about when is it going to come?
Okay.
And then it'll show up in the mailbox at the perfect time,
Okay.
in consciousness. So that was deliberate, didn't tell you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Leila. Oops, wait, both unmuted you. There you go.
Okay. I went to church yesterday and I found it kind of fun that, wait, am I muted?
No, you're good.
Oh, this little box came up and said I was. So he gave us all this these little wooden crosses, and he was talking about how it's the cross in our hearts, or in ourselves, and sometimes it's what's Xing out our divinity. And so anyway, what he had us do, I thought was kind of fun, was he had us write on the cross what we wanted to let go of, and what we wanted to, not only for ourselves, but maybe for humanity, and write on it. And then then we all took it down to the front and gave up our cross, our things that we wanted to release and let go of. And which a word came up for me that I hadn't thought of so far is self-righteousness. And I thought of that when it comes to talking about my old boss, about how I did this and I did that, yada, yada. Like, oh, so anyway, self-righteousness went on there for me. But the point of the story is we did all that, but then when you get down to the bottom, you exchanged your cross for a white stone, which he quoted from the Bible about when you get the white stone after your words. Oh, help me, Eliza. When you've been imprisoned.
Yeah, when you've been released.
Released, then you have a new name.
Yeah.
So then he had us write our new name on the stone. And for me, the stone, I just wrote light. But I thought it was fun because it was so fitting with Sedona.
Yeah, that's great. Now, was it David's church?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did our burning bowls and white stone ceremony at Easter. How brilliant is that? That's great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. All right, let's do a process of just sort of landing, reactivating the space, creating that spaciousness. This is how I did it. I told you guys here at the retreat, but somebody asked me yesterday at church, well, how was the retreat, right? And what did you do? And I said, here's what we did. We went, and they're like, you did what? And they're like, oh, I got body chills.
I'm back again.
Welcome back, Carolyn. So we're going to do that, right? We're going to go. And what that is, this is just speaking around it a little bit, what is that? It's going from the outer noise to the inner stillness, creating that spaciousness within us. I'm hitting the hole. The spaciousness within us, and then right into our own heart, activating our own heart. So we take that, and we close our eyes and we feel the energy of it. And we feel the vibration of it. And so we feel ourselves, whatever's going on in our lives or in our minds or in our emotions or in the stories or in the reactions, the patterns, we feel that just sort of rising up above us as we sink below it. We just drop our awareness. We just relax under whatever the thing is. Just relax, separate from that automatic reaction, separate from the pattern, separate from all of the stuff that we released, just allowing whatever is current to just rise up as you sink down. Landing, very important to go into your body, from your emotion and your mind into your body, scan your physical body. Notice any sensations going on right now in your physical body. Bring your awareness all the way down through your physical body to your feet. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Allow your awareness to sink into Mother Earth. Dropping deeper. Noticing what you notice when you can connect consciously deep into the earth. And then feel the earth giving you energy. Open through your feet to receive an energy from the earth. And just notice what the quality is, the texture of the energy that you receive from the earth. Noticing what you notice, and then bringing your awareness up from the earth through your body, right? We did this over and over, all the way up through your body to your palms and your crown, and allow your awareness to rise up from your body, up through the room, up through the atmosphere to the sun, connecting deeply to the core of the sun. Notice what you notice as you connect to the above. And then simply receive, open your crown, open your palms, and receive from the sun. And notice what that quality or texture of energy feels like. Bringing the awareness from the sun and the earth to meet midway in your body, landing in your spiritual heart. Relaxing your system even more deeply as you land in your spiritual heart. And feel the spaciousness of knowing that you are connected to that which is both within you and so much greater than you. Allow your perspective to be raised, to be expanded, to be stretched in spaciousness. Become aware of the expansiveness between the sun and the core of the earth. And take that same expanse and tilt it so it goes full circle. It creates a circle, a globe, a sphere around you. So feel it out beyond either arm as your arms are outstretched as far as the earth and the core of the earth and the sun. Feel that expanse side to side. Feel it in your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body. And then let that rotate so that same expanse is forward and back, in front of you and behind you. That same expanse. So the spaciousness is becoming very multidimensional. Above, below, side to side, forward and back. Just allow your full being to expand, to soften, to deepen into that space, to open. Feel that glow, that sphere, that expanded space, and find yourself as an itty bitty speck in the very center of it. And as you find yourself, you're actually in your spiritual heart, in the very center of this expanded space. Allow your spiritual heart to expand to grow, to stretch, so far that you find yourself, your own physical body, standing inside your spiritual heart, which is inside this expanded sphere. It's landing. Basking here. Anchoring. Take a moment to integrate this expanded space into all aspects of your being. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Anchoring through all states of awareness and consciousness, from your conscious awareness through your subconscious into your conscious. Anchoring and integrating through all dimensions of time and space. Past, present, future, all meet as one in this space of no time and no space, and no thought, and no body, and no one. In this space, you find the infinite void of infinite possibilities. In this space, you find freedom. Freedom from, but more important, freedom to. Freedom to be all of who you are and all of who you are becoming. Freedom to choose any conscious response. Freedom to co-create that which you most desire with the infinite. Place one hand on your heart, the other hand on your lower belly. Anchoring, integrating. I am free to be all of me. I am free to be all of who I am becoming. I am free. I am free. I am free. Notice what you notice in sensations, in feelings, and vibration and frequency. Notice how you feel. Say out loud, I am free.
I am free.
I am free.
I am free to be all of me.
Yes. And so it is.
And so it is. And so I let it be.
Deep breath in. Whew. When you're ready, open your eyes. So in just a couple of moments, a couple of words, I want everybody to just speak into that experience. I know, Nancy, you're going to have to go, so will you start us off so that you would be sure to hear from you? How is that?
Well, I realized where I'm carrying tension still, and it's funny. It's usually where I carry tension after I've had a workout, but I'm having a pre-tension moment where I feel that tightness. It's kind of comical in a way, but I felt, I always feel like I'm so slow to move into those spots, and then I realize that just is clutter, and that it doesn't matter. And then I get there in whatever form I'm in. I get there, and I needed that. It's going to be an interesting workout right now. I may glide through it.
So where's the tension that you feel normally after the workout?
It's actually the band right behind the heart, right across the back, the right under the shoulder blades. I'm carrying something there. I had it in Sedona too.
Yeah, so let's just lean into your back, all of us, because we all carry that sort of edge, right?
Yeah.
And just because we can right this minute, just breathe into that. Allow that band. We're not trying to get rid of anything, but just allow it to soften as you acknowledge it. Create a little space around it. When we do our one-on-one work, which is available to everybody, we might want to even look at what that is, right? But right now, just allow it to just expand. Just breathe into it, just with acknowledgement. It's like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I'll come back and have a conversation with you in a bit. But just softening. Can you feel that softening, expanding, spacious a little bit?
Yeah, it started. Yes. Yeah. I think I was trying to push it aside, and it didn't want to be pushed like I didn't want to be pushed. So, and you need to go, you guys.
I know you do. So we'll see you. We'll see you soon.
Bye, Team Nancy. Bye.
So I'm going to say this, and she can catch the recording, or you can tell her, we can't push anything away. We cannot make anything go away, but we can create space for it, right? Like the tension or the thought or the depression or whatever it is, we can't make it go away, but we can create a spaciousness to allow it, which then we can work with it. We can transcend it. We can make spaciousness in it, and it can change, but it will not ever go by making it go away. Nothing. So, well teaching there. Awesome. How was that for you, Leila?
I just feel tingly and very content.
Beautiful. So the work for all of us is to come here as often as possible. One of the things that I'm going to do is I might even just lift this one out of the recording and create audios so that we can put them on our phones, so that we can listen to them, so that we can remember, so that we can build those neural pathways.
Good. Good.
Cool. Katie.
I felt like I grew 5 or 6 inches, just like, it's good.
Yeah. Now, if we can figure out how to grow 5 and 6 inches and lose, I'm speaking for myself, those 5 or 10 pounds, isn't that growing, right?
A lot more. It's okay.
Or whatever it is.
It just starts with 1.
That's right.
Say again?
It starts with 1.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. And you guys, I gotta get going in a minute too. So, but I don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah. Okay. So, Susan.
It felt amazing doing all of that. As always, I'm in such an energy junkie, and so to me that was incredible. And I felt also like I'm expanded my energy field and grabbed onto that feeling from Sedona. So that was incredible. That, I'm also always has been forever on my journey to have a more healthy body. So I had gotten thinner, and then all the stuff with my dad, and I totally wasn't doing any kind of decent eating. Anyway, but what I got right at the end is I have all the tools I need, and I can make that happen because I have the tools. I like the tools, and I can do it. I just got real clear on the fact that and where I am right now is okay. and so I'm not. It's not the same. It's like since Sedona, I'm not so annoyed at myself about it. So that's the best thing ever. Let me tell you.
No kidding.
So woo!
Awesome. That's great. And Carolyn, how was that for you, my dear?
Well, I had about 3 other things going on almost the whole time.
All right,
They
move
were
your phone a
calling
little
me
bit
from
so
the
we can.
dentist. My son arrived with his children,
Oh,
so I did my best to
okay.
stick with it. But it just usually I am all alone and it's very quiet here. But today was just not that. But you did. I appreciate your helping me to be in the container anyway.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did notice about myself today was that in spite of, I kind of have waves of depression that come and go, obviously. And I do know that I just keep walking, putting one foot in front of the other. And I got up and showered and did the best I could do. And I already was feeling better when we connected in the call.
Awesome. Awesome. So I will get the recording out because that'll be helpful.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, Lady Lizards. So much love to you all, and we'll see you next Monday. Wednesday, the energetic reset is Wednesdays at, I have no idea what time. I think Central, I can't remember because I've been in so many time zones, but I'll send the email out about that. But that's live in a Facebook group. So you can catch that live or you can catch the recording of it, but that'll be very supportive for the work we're doing here. And there'll be at least one other email from me this week too. So keep your eyes open.
Okay,
Yay.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
See you next week.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Where am I?